Hello students, welcome to my channel SDK Pathshala. So today we will discuss about heat. So as we know in earlier classes that heat is a kind of energy on absorption of which its temperature increases, not always. So let us first come to know about the internal energies of a body. So a body or a material is made up of different number of atoms and molecules. Okay, so in case of the body, whether it is solid, liquid or gas, the body's molecules or the atoms are having some energy. That energy is divided into two sectors. One is known as kinetic energy and one is potential energy, and the total of this kinetic and potential energy is the internal energy of the body. So the potential energy, why a molecule is having potential energy? Due to their relative positions, and as the body moves, or if the body is having vibratory motion, in case of a solid, the molecules having the vibratory motion. So due to this vibratory motion, or in case of gas molecule, the translatory motion, those molecules are also having the potential energy. So the sum of kinetic energy and potential energy is the internal energy of a particular substance. Okay, now if when we give heat to a particular substance, then what happens? So heat is the external energy. Heat is the external energy. So when we give this external energy to the particular body, so its potential energy and kinetic energy increases, and that's why its temperature increases. So it is becoming hot. So what is temperature then? So heat is a kind of energy. So what is temperature then? Temperature is the thermal condition of a particular body. Temperature is the thermal condition of a body, which determines that whenever two bodies are in contact, or if you keep contact in two bodies are in contact, then whether or which body will give heat to which body is determined by their temperature, or the degree of hotness or coldness present in a particular body is known as its temperature. Okay, so temperature can be measured with the particular instrument known as thermometer. So how hot or how cold is measured by that particular temperature. Suppose a body is hot, relatively hot, than another body. What does it mean? A body is relatively, suppose there is a body A and there is a body B. Now if I say the temperature of B is greater than temperature of A, what does it mean? It means that the B body is hotter than the A body, that is its temperature is greater. Okay, or if I say in other word, if B body is hotter than A body, then what does it indicate? If B body is hotter than A body, it indicates that temperature of B body is greater than the temperature of A body. Now when we give heat to a particular body, then its internal energy increases and its temperature increases, but not in all cases. Okay, so there are different kind of heat. So let us come to know about those different kind of heat. So first type of heat is known as sensible heat. What do you mean by sensible heat? Sensible heat is a kind of heat which when given to a particular body, its temperature increases, or which when taken from the body, then its temperature decreases, is known as sensible heat. Okay, and this sensible heat can be measured. Next, the amount of heat which is given to a particular body, but the body's temperature doesn't change, but its state change, that kind of heat is known as latent heat. So latent heat, what is latent heat? The heat required by a body, or the amount of heat if you give to a particular body, or if you take out from a particular body, then if its temperature remain constant but its state changes, then it is known as latent heat of that body. There is another term which is known as specific latent heat. Specific latent heat. What is the specific latent heat? specific latent heat is the amount of heat given to a body of unit mass or is taken from a body of unit mass so that its temperature remain constant but its state changes. So keeping the temperature constant, if the state changes by the heat, then that heat is known as specific latent heat. Like specific latent heat of melting of ice is 80 calorie per gram. So what does it mean? It means whenever specific latent heat of melting of ice. So if there is 1 gram of ice, then if you give 80 calorie heat, so suppose the temperature of ice is 0 degree Celsius, because 0 degree Celsius is the freezing point. So the ice is at 0 degree Celsius. So if you give 80 calorie of heat, then it will melt into water, 1 gram of water into 0 degree Celsius. So see, the temperature doesn't change but the state changes. So this heat is known as latent heat, and as it is for unit mass, so that's why it is known as specific latent heat of a particular body. Okay, now let us know about specific heat. What do you mean by specific heat of a particular material? Specific heat of a particular material. Specific heat. Specific heat. What is the specific heat? Specific heat of a particular material is the amount of heat which is given to a particular body of unit mass, or which is taken out from a body of unit mass. So there is a unit change in temperature of the body happens. Suppose there is a body of unit mass. So mass is 1. Now suppose the body is at theta degree Celsius. Okay, now if we give some amount of heat Q so that its temperature changes, or suppose we give S amount of heat, so that its temperature changes to theta plus 1. So mass is unit and temperature, change in temperature is unit, then that amount of heat is known as specific heat of a particular material. So specific heat is the amount of heat given to a particular body or taken out from a particular body so that that unit mass of the body's temperature change by 1 unit, either increasing or decreasing, then that amount of heat is known as specific heat of a particular body. Now the specific heat of a particular body is the intrinsic property. So for a particular material it is constant. Okay, now see, if specific heat of a body is S, so we need to provide unit. So in CGS, its unit is calorie per gram per degree C. Okay, or in SI system it is joule per kg Kelvin. Okay, so remember one thing, per degree Celsius and per degree Kelvin change, 1 Kelvin change and 1 Celsius change is equal. Okay, 1 Kelvin change and 1 Celsius change is equal. Okay, why? Because suppose 1 degree Celsius is equals to 273 plus 1 K, and 2 degree Celsius is equals to 273 plus 2 K. So what is the difference? There is difference between Celsius is 1 degree Celsius and difference between Kelvin is 1 Kelvin. So 1 degree Celsius change is equals to 1 Kelvin temperature change. Okay, so suppose the specific heat of a substance is S calorie per gram per degree centigrade. Okay, now for unit mass, that is 1 unit mass, to increase 1 degree C, S heat is required, S calorie heat is required. Okay, now for suppose for m unit mass to change its temperature by 1 degree Celsius, ms calorie heat is required. Okay, do you know what is this ms? ms is the heat capacity or the thermal capacity of the body. So what is thermal capacity of a body? To change the temperature of any mass of a substance is known as its thermal capacity. So thermal capacity depend on the mass. So if you increase the mass, thermal capacity also increases. Suppose the temperature required to increase the temperature of this body by 1 unit is known as its thermal capacity. So suppose there is another body, suppose to change the temperature of 1 unit, temperature of this body by 1 unit is known as its thermal capacity. So its thermal capacity will be different from this. Why? Because they have different mass. Suppose let us say that these two bodies are of same material, then their specific heat is same, but as the mass of this body is greater, so the specific thermal capacity or heat capacity is more for this body. Okay, so this is thermal capacity. Now suppose for m mass of the body, m not m unit, m mass of the body, to increase T degree Celsius to increase theta degree Celsius, we need ms theta. For 1 degree Celsius we need ms calorie. So for theta degree Celsius we need ms theta calorie of heat. Okay, so how much sensible heat is required to change the temperature of the body can be determined by this formula ms theta. Okay, so sometime the amount of heat required to change the temperature or increase the temperature or decrease the temperature is given by this formula. Q is equals to mass m into a specific heat into del theta. Sometime it is written as del T. So m is mass, s is specific heat, and del theta is change in temperature. Okay, or sometime it is written as theta 2 minus theta 1 or theta 1 minus theta 2. Okay, change. So you need to keep change means the bigger term will come first and the smaller term will come second. Okay, so this will be the amount of heat required to increase or decrease the temperature of the body can be measured by this particular formula. Okay, next thing is that and another thing for latent heat, how to calculate the latent heat. So if we know the specific latent heat, so specific latent heat is for 1 unit mass or for 1 unit mass, for unit mass we need how much? Suppose L calorie heat. So for m mass we need ml calorie of heat. So Q latent is equals to m into L. Okay, and so if in a particular problem if only state of change occur, then you need to multiply the mass with the specific latent heat of that change. Suppose specific latent heat of vaporization, it could be specific latent of freezing, specific latent heat of melting, whatever you need to multiply it with. Okay, so if there is a change in temperature, then you should apply this formula, mass into specific heat into change in temperature. So suppose there is a body of mass 100 gram with specific heat 0.09 and CGS unit obviously, and its temperature is 10 degrees Celsius. Now if we try to increase its temperature from 10 degree to 50 degree, then what should be the change? 50 minus 10, then 40. Then you should multiply the mass into specific heat into that 40 change in temperature. Now if you want to subtract heat, so it will become colder. Suppose a body is at 50 degrees Celsius. Now if we extract some amount of heat and its temperature decreases to 10 degree, then how much decrease is their temperature? 40 or 50 minus 10 is equals to 40 degree. So then you need to calculate m into s into 40, and you will get that how much heat is extracted from the body. And if there is only change in temperature, suppose there is some ice, there is an ice cube of 5 kg. Okay, Now if you want to melt it, then how much heat is required? M into its specific latent heat. M into its specific latent heat. Okay, and you will get the heat. Another term is there that is known as water equivalent. So what do you mean by water equivalent of a body? Water equivalent of a particular body is the amount of water whose temperature, it is the mass of water. So it is unit is mass. So water equivalent is the mass of water whose temperature can be raised by 1 unit by the temperature which rises the temperature of the body by 1 unit. What does it mean? Suppose this is the body. Now if we want to change the temperature of this body by 1 unit, then we need to give suppose 500 unit of heat. Okay, now by that 500 unit of heat, how much of water can be, or temperature of how much of water can be increased by 1 unit is known as water equivalent of the body. So water equivalent of the body is the mass of the body. Okay, is the mass of the body whose temperature can be raised by 1 unit by the temperature which rises the temperature of the body by 1 unit. Okay, as simple as that. Next thing is calorimetry. What is calorimetry? So first, to know about calorimetry or principle of calorimetry, let us know about thermal equilibrium. Whenever two bodies are in thermal equilibrium, it means that no heat will pass from one body to another body. No heat will pass from one body to another body. It means the bodies are in thermal equilibrium. So temperature is the thermal condition of the body which determine the direction of the flow of heat. So suppose there is a body at theta 1 degree Celsius and there is another body which is at theta 2 degree Celsius. Now if theta 1 is greater than theta 2, then heat will flow from theta 1 to theta 2, and if theta 2 is greater than theta 1, then heat will flow from theta 2 to theta 1. Okay, so they are not in thermal equilibrium, but if they are in thermal equilibrium, then no heat will pass from theta 1 to this body to this body and this body to this body. Okay, so there is a principle of calorimetry. What is principle of calorimetry says? So first we should mention some condition. Okay, so let us first know about the principle of calorimetry. Principle of calorimetry says that whenever two bodies are in contact, suppose body A is in contact with body B. This is body A and this is body B. Body A is contact with body B. Is in contact, thermal contact with body A, and body B are in thermal contact. Okay. So heat lost by the hotter body. Heat lost. Which body will lose heat? Hotter body. So heat lost by the hotter body is equals to heat gain by the colder body. Okay, so heat lost by the hotter body is equals to heat gained by the colder body. So the amount of heat the hotter body will lose, that amount of heat will the colder body will take. Okay, and ultimately they comes into equilibrium. Suppose a body is at 20 degrees centigrade and this body is at 30 degrees Celsius. So it will give some amount of heat into it and it takes the heat, and after some time when they are in thermal equilibrium, so the body A body's temperature increases from 20 to 25 degree and this temperature 30 to 25 degree. So at thermal equilibrium their temperature become same, and whenever there is a temperature difference, temperature is same, so their body will not exchange the heat. Now one thing, this calorimetric principle must have satisfied by few conditions, or few conditions must be applied. So what are those conditions? Remember those conditions. Those conditions must be satisfied so that we can write it down, write the principle of calorimetry. So what are those conditions? First condition, these two bodies must not react chemically. If they react chemically, then we can't say this. Second, these two body doesn't make any solution. Okay, one doesn't dissolve into other. Second, this is the system, so no heat is coming outside to the system. So outside is the surrounding, so no heat should come from surrounding to the system, or there should be no heat lost by the system to the surrounding. So if these conditions are the satisfied, then we can tell that whenever two bodies are in thermal contact, then heat lost by the hotter body is equals to heat gained by the colder body. And provided they doesn't make any solution, they doesn't chemically react, no heat loss from system to surrounding, and no heat will come from surrounding to the system. So this is the principle of calorimetry, and according to this principle of calorimetry we will solve different kind of maths. Okay, different kind of problems. So if you like my video, then press the like button, and if you not subscribe yet, then please subscribe my channel, so that you will get this kind of interesting video. And on next class we will proceed further through the chapter. Okay, thank you.